Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is a little different than what I've been doing lately. Everything's a little different. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here. Okay, so I am actually covered in plants right now. I did not own a plant besides my one aloe vera plant outside until about 20 days ago, probably less, when I listened to Jenna and Julien's podcast and she mentioned all of her plants. I saw how enthusiastic she got about them, so I decided to look at Reddit, you know, like any sane person. And after reviewing Reddit for quite a few hours, I decided that I might just want to buy a few plants too.
Can a lady just not have some plants?
And then a few plants turned into 10 turned into 20, 20 turned into 30. Now I'm at like 40 something plants in about 20 days.
And that's the problem.
So this is gonna be my Jenna Marbles inspired March plant haul. And I would love to make more plant videos in the future. This is definitely something I'm interested in. So let me know if this is interesting. I'll add a counter to the video and we'll see my exact total, because after I film this and edit it, I might have gotten more. It's an addictive habit. So I'm supposed to be on a no-buy right now, but yesterday I bought a Marble Queen Pothos and a alligator fern, or crocodile fern. One of those two names. So the no-buy is not going well. I find myself spraying things all the time.
They don't need this, but I like doing this an awful lot.
I use the meter that you place into the dirt to see if it's dry, moist, or too wet. And it doesn't even matter, I still want to spray the plants. Help.
Oh my god.
Let me know if you want me to make more plant videos, because I would love to go into detail about plants, especially alocasias, because I love them.
I'm just gonna show you, so here we go.
Okay, I'll start off with a few plants outside. This is our gigantic, ginormous, ridiculous aloe that is a monster and impossible to deal with now because I'd have to spend hours separating it. So I just haven't done anything with it. I have another one right here. This plant is out here because it had spider mites and I'm trying to keep it separate from all my indoor plants, but it is one of my newer ones. This DRACAENA right here actually has a few props below it as well, but this had a bunch of gnats, so we're kind of just trying to let them all die off. Just some more succulents going on over here. It's quite a variety. So inside we have a ZZ plant, which if I have photos of the plants before when we first bought them, which was mostly beginning of this month, I'll insert that because I think it'll be a cool comparison. But this guy has a bunch of new shoots coming up. He even has a new one right there. Honestly, one of my favorite plants. I absolutely love the Raven version of this as well. It's just really hard to find and really expensive online, so I haven't bought it just yet. Just leave it alone with a little bit of light and honestly, it kind of thrives. Have a plant stand right there with nothing on it because we're not sure what can survive with that amount of light. But shifting over, our cylindrical SANSEVIERIA, which also has almost no light, but is doing all right. Next here's our FITTONIA, which is just living peacefully under this artificial light with almost no actual light coming to it. It is a low light plant though, so I've had no issues with it yet. Our next plant is the SANSEVIERIA, just the typical variety. Have a little villager in there and some props. This one was actually named the unkillable plant, but it's kind of crispy, and this is because the soil it originally had, it held too much moisture in it, So we had to repot it recently. But the cool thing is, in here, one of our little props is growing a baby. So that'll be planted whenever it gets a little bit more roots on it. This is above my sink area, and I'm gonna pretend like there's no dishes so my joy can be fully sparked, but this would be a golden pothos, which has grown a little bit since we gotten it, and it's loving this spot, to be honest. Just missed it every now and again. This is the moisture meter we use, and it goes dry, moist, and wet. Moist.
Because he just likes to be wet and moist.
If it's dry, obviously we need to water it. Some plants need to remain moist. You kind of just got to research on individual plants. The golden pothos actually likes to remain a little bit moist, so we do like to spritz that pretty consistently. This is part of a ZZ plant that I was trying to save from Walmart, but I don't think it's gonna live, to be honest with you. The soil is extremely dry because when I bought this ZZ plant, the soil was basically like a swamp. It was so wet. I had root rot that I didn't see whenever I repotted him, and I didn't handle it correctly. For all you Hoya heads, as a few different plant YouTubers would say, this is our Hoya that we have. I don't know the specific name of this plant, but it's doing pretty well in this window area, and it's kind of growing what I assume to be flowers off the top of it that haven't bloomed. And just a few props here. This is ALOCASIA ZEBRINA cutting, and I actually just read that I don't think they can grow from cutting, so I might be completely wasting my time. But this croton leaf might grow some roots. I hope. Our next plant, and this one's gonna be easy because it's labeled Peperomia Ruby Cascade. When I got this plant from Lowe's, it was looking terrible. It was all crispy, I had to pull off all the dead black parts, and now it's having some new growth. Oh look, I didn't see that black part. And I think it's because of this guy. He is watching over his plant brethren. I absolutely love this plant. It's so pretty on the underside. I mean, not right now, unfortunately, but normally it has a very ruby underside and a green top, which kind of gives it a nice twist of color. Moving on to my marble queen. This stunning beauty right here. It's more of a recent addition, but it has some variegated leaves. Oh, there's one over here that's split, I believe. Not perfect white, but it's almost split in half, which is really cool. It's still kind of small, but definitely one of my favorites right now. I shouldn't say I have favorites. They're all my babies, so they're all my favorites. Now we're gonna be moving on to the area that makes you realize that I am a plant hoarder. I'm a plant hoarder, and I'm admitting it. This is a rattlesnake plant, which is a prayer plant. It closes up at night and opens up during the day. It has quite a lovely pattern that I guess would indicate the name rattlesnake, but it's doing pretty well in this area, I would say. It has very pretty undersized leaves. We have another prayer plant that is not doing as well as this one, but this one keeps shooting up new leaves. And I believe, yes, there's a little baby right there that'll be opening in, who knows, a month or so, maybe less, maybe a few weeks. I don't know, the last leaves opened up so quickly, so maybe it is less than that. I'm very new to the plant world, so I have more of a grasp on how quickly these things happen in the future. This is our second golden pothos. I am slightly obsessed with this kind of plant, and that's why I have more than one. Then we go to our, this one didn't have a tag, so I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a string of hearts or a turtle shell plant. It has that pattern on it. This one was also not doing super well, and now it seems to have recovered. I should probably go through this shelf first, which was an awesome find from a thrift shop. This is one of my other succulents right here. It's kind of browning on the inside, I think. I might have overwatered it. I am a overwaterer. I want to give all my plants all the water, even if they don't want it. Propagation station like Jenna Marbles.
Turn one of your plants into like 5 of your plants.
Then my boyfriend planted this little succulent area, and it's really pretty. This plant is my favorite. The other ones look like butts, so I'm not so into that. I do like butts, but not succulent butts. We have our other DRACAENA DEREMENSIS. This one I left the label in. It's not one of my favorites. So now going to our wine shelf, repurposed as a plant stand, because I mean, I'd rather have more plants than more wine. Here is my PILEA peperomia. Got it as a little, well, not a little baby, but smaller than this. It is growing pretty quickly. And then our fiddle leaf fig. I do think this needs a new area. Going down, this is our plant that's probably doing the worst off, and it's the GODSEFFIANA. It was very crispy, and at the same time, it's giving me new leaves, so maybe it's just being dramatic. I am not sure. Another one of the butt plants back here that my boyfriend so loves. And then we have my angel wing begonia. This is definitely one of my favorite new plants. Just how pretty these perfect little dots are. And I'll definitely insert some footage where you can see the leaf signs a little bit better. But this one also, it actually does prefer a moist environment from what I believe, so I might need to water it today. I probably should be checking all of these at my moisture meter while I walk around. It's kind of like a daily thing. You check everything for moisture and you're like, it's not gonna change in a day, but I need to check it again because my babies might be thirsty. This is a very new addition as of 2 days ago, which is our crocodile fern. It has a very beautiful texture, and I'll insert actually another picture or video right there. Just a whole set of succulents that are gonna fall over and be complicated because they're in tiny little pots right now. They're still in their nursery pot, so I definitely have to change them out. I do not know the name of these. I think it just says assorted on the titles. It might say the names. Then we have my white butterfly arrowhead plant. Actually has a really pretty design. I don't want to hide it down here. My favorite type of plant is an alocasia, or anything that looks like an alocasia. And this definitely has alocasia-like qualities. This other plant I took home from work because it's a tall boy and it shouldn't be that tall, and it's just trying to reach the sky, and I get it, honey, you reach. Moving on to my CALATHEA, or as Kaylee Ellen would say, CALATHEA. This is my other prayer plant that I was talking about that is starting to droop, and I have no idea why. If anyone has any tips, please let me know, because I absolutely love this plant. It's not doing terrible, but it's like one day it'll droop really low and then the next day it'll be fine. And I don't know if it's being dramatic or if it needs something. Next up, we have this monster, ALOCASIA ZEBRINA, which we actually got from Lowe's for $15. It was half off because 3 or 2 of the stems were broken. One stem died when we got home, and all the leaf damage. This is not for me. I don't know how this happened. It's very depressing. But we are getting a new leaf and another one that's damaged, so that's unfortunate. But hopefully it'll be well taken care of and grow more in our home, and all those dead leaves will eventually fall down. We'll get new ones. We also have all of our successful props right here that have some rootage. Now this plant actually requires, I think the humidity it likes is 65 to 75 and it likes to remain moist, especially whenever it's putting new leaves out. Luckily for us, we live in Louisiana where the humidity is, and I can show the meter when we go in the other room, around 55 to 70 depending on the day in our house, and much higher outside. Now if it wasn't for the damage on the ZEBRINA, I would say it's my favorite. But this ALOCASIA, Soma is on the name tag and maybe an armor shield. I absolutely love this one. It's in such good condition. As I say that, don't look at that leaf. Okay, but it's sprouting a new leaf and maybe a new plant. I'm so excited. This one has a beautiful undersides to the leaves, and everything I'm reading, it's pretty much the same for all ALOCASIAs. They like to be moist and they need high humidity.
Look at him.
My final ALOCASIA would be right here, and I actually don't know the name to this. It's probably a basic one, but I'm still learning all the names, so if you'd like to list it below, I might end up adding it to the video after. It's very beautiful as well, and it also has very pretty undersides of the leaves. The last plant in this area is our CROTON, which we got for Walmart from like $5. And I don't want to move it to show you because crotons are typically dramatic and it might just throw a leaf off just to show me who's boss. So what you're seeing now is my last set of plants. I do have 3 more at my office right now, but we'll look at these, which this one is a beautiful silver pothos. One thing I found interesting about this one is that it has these silver marks in the leaf, obviously, but with a flash on, and I might be able to insert some pictures in, it looks glittery. And the underside of the leaf as well has like a glitter-like sheen on it. Then we have our rubber tree, which is, it's the darker variety, I forget the name for it. And right next to it is our variegated rubber tree. I'm definitely gonna insert some close-ups of these leaves because they're quite gorgeous to me, like a painting on each leaf. The final plant, my MONSTERA DELICIOSA, which is beautiful. It's just a stunning plant. And this is one of the newer leaves right there. We got this for just about $30, and as you can see, I think there's separate Monsteras planted with this one, or smaller grow-offs of the main Monstera, because these leaves are getting big and those are really tiny down there. This has grown so much from the first day we received it, it's actually kind of crazy. And that's all of my plants from March. It's kind of crazy. I started off with 0 and we have insert number of plants right here. I am currently on a no-buy because this is getting insane and I'm becoming addicted, but the no-buy already failed because I bought this beautiful thing. Anyways, if you liked that video, make sure to subscribe and like this video up, and let me know if you want to see any more videos about specific plant species or any care tips on how to take care of my plants. What's your favorite plant that you currently have? I'm going to stick with my ALOCASIA Regal Shield, but please let me know what yours is, so maybe I could find something that I haven't seen yet. Okay, bye!